Welcome to Security Check. Today we'll discuss
restrictions and bannings and stuff like that. We have already made one video about certain card, but today we are talking about things we like we would maybe want to see restricted or banned or like limited in some kind, and what could be done to some maybe problematic decks in the current metagame. Also, of course, the metagame is a little bit up in the air because the 2.5 is coming.
Yeah.
And we are talking about one 2.5 card here in the list also. Spoiler. And of course we don't know how the metagame will look after the 2.5 like completely, because the Japanese results normally don't translate straight to Western results.
Yeah.
So but I think we can see some decks in like Western metagame that will be still prevalent after 2.5 no matter what happens, basically.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some of those cards and decks. And
let's start with cards that are now restricted to 1 and should be banned totally.
Or maybe
talking about why just restricting cards to 1 ain't enough.
Yeah, and we have made those like Mirage, talking about Mirage, how Mirage should be banned. It was a little bit of we kind of think it should be banned, but it was also like a hyperbole. We just wanted to make it clear that Mirage is a problem. So we just said it should be banned. Yeah. But maybe it could be restricted, but then some people come to the comments and say like, no card should be banned, restricting to 1 is enough.
But it's really not enough.
Yeah, and Mirage and Anubismon are like 2 cards that should, Anubismon is already in 1, but if Mirage was in 1 together with Anubismon, those are 2 cards that can just like swing the game completely when you find that one of when you play it and when you start going from there. And it creates absolutely horrible feeling on the other side of the board, because you're like, oh, they find their one off, now they're going to do this Anubismon, maybe Anubis Merva combo, and they sweep my whole field or something, or attack to game, or get such a large board advantage that you cannot just like get over it. And if you don't remove the Anubismon, you're absolutely going to lose. If Anubismon activates like twice, you're so losing the game. If Anubismon stays on the field after the turn it came out, you are probably already lost. And like we took a look about these already restricted cards and the 1 banned card we have. So like Hidden Potential discovered from is it BT3 when it came out? Something like that.
Yeah, and Ice Wall. Those 2 cards should be banned with Anubismon.
Yeah, from restricted cards. There are some cards in the restricted list that you might argue could be banned, but like these are the most like feels bad cards. Especially like Hidden Potential Discovery. Of course, green is not that good right now as a whole.
Yeah, but they are pushing green really hard with Sefagamon stuff and Medieval Galamon.
Yeah, and we have so many things that can like unsuspend just like randomly when they digivolve or at the end of your turn or something stupid like that. So it's like
it was a good decision in like BT3, but when green stuff has like immunity when it's suspended or
and maybe one of those reasons. Well, I have a little bit like problem with scrambles, not like we need to limit them, but maybe stuff like Hidden Potential Discovered and scrambles and stuff like that, they really screw your like calculations. When you're looking at your opponent's board and you're like, okay, if I leave them at this amount of memory, they cannot do X things. And then they have that one like 1 singleton restricted Hidden Potential Discovered, and you're like, oh, they actually gain 5 memory randomly from their hand for no reason.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, now they can do everything.
Yeah, and there is there used to be the downside to suspend your Digimon, but nowadays when you want your green stuff to be suspended, or then there is the Fagamon stuff or Vortex stuff, and your Shoto is like, yeah, they can unsuspend.
Yeah, and they can attack.
Yeah.
And the 5 evolve cost reduction is humongous. And it would be maybe if we got like green, really good green boss monster that evolved for like 4 or 5 and would do like devastating things.
Yeah.
Except Tyrant Kabuterimon, because
but Tyrant is a solid deck, but it's tricky.
yeah.
But
then like maybe hidden potential discovered would be like absolutely dumb, because then you would just go like, oh, I have a level 5, now I have a level 6 that does dumb things, and it cost me nothing.
Yeah.
So there are those.
Yeah, then Anubismon, yeah, we already talked about that, and then there is Ice Wall. Like, Ice Wall out of security is already annoying as heck, but it's not the only card that has the effect, so it's kind of fine. But the main effect,
it's still really, really annoying, and especially if you are like, if you have a deck that doesn't like have memory setter or something, and then your opponent finds the one Ice Wall, they're at 0 memory, they play Ice Wall, give you 1, and then it's your turn and you're like, okay, I maybe just lost the game because I cannot evolve, I cannot attack, I cannot
the
do
biggest
anything.
problem with Ice Wall is not any one of its effects, it's all of them combined with the cost, because one cost lose 2 memory and security it gains you 2 memory. That does so much for that 1 memory, and it's already restricted, and it's a low chance to be in security or that you find it in time of need. But it feels so bad. It makes the game more unfun than it should be.
And it can also like drag out games where someone plays Ice Wall and then your opponent cannot really attack, and then they just have to do something, and maybe the game just drags on, and maybe it doesn't even win the game, but it's just like, it just burns like a turn or 2 that we need to play more of the game. So that is kind of also annoying in itself. Like, I don't know. I understand that Ice Wall is not the most played card at the moment, but those are those cards that like, we should just get rid of them. So there's like not just saying that, basically just say that they are not like good designs. They are just failed designs. As much as I love Anubismon is just broken. Yeah. It might be the best purple card like ever printed, kinda. So maybe something like 3D throws it at some point, but it's a hard bar to like go over.
And then like after now we have talked about these cards we think that should be banned totally. We can move on to cards that we think should go to 1, or I don't know, maybe some of them could be to 0, but let's start the discussion to say that these should go to 1.
Yeah, and these are like, the next 3 cards are something that we've been like saying over and over again, and I think we are in the minority here, but we think this is something we value in like how we think, and we have been consistent about this, that all of these, well, Hammerspark is already gone, so Hammerspark is already at 1, so, but it should be followed by Gravity Crush, Blinding Ray, and Jack Raid. All of these pay nothing, basically pay nothing, gain 2 memory, because like these all have their downsides, because Hammerspark gives the least memory, but it was like it didn't have any conditions. So
it does it always. And so Hammerspark also has the Ice Wall security effect. Ice Wall has Hammerspark security effect.
Yeah, as has Jack Raid.
Yeah.
So someone could say like, well, Gravity Crush is like you lose 2 memory and so on, and I'm like, but when you use Gravity Crush, you're either going for the game or making the board state so that your opponent cannot win.
Yeah.
So the 2 memory doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Most of the time you're just using it to fuel your combo to win the game now.
Yeah.
So it's like, it has a downside, but the downside is so minuscule that it doesn't matter. And
you can use multiples.
yeah.
So like you use 2 or 3 gravity crushes to win the game. Okay, it doesn't matter that you would lose the memory.
Yeah.
You won't lose the memory. And like, okay, it does not have security effect, which is good. It's like okay balanced, but doing nothing and getting 2 memories should not be a thing.
Yeah. Same with the Blinding Ray. You trash the top security card, but...
And Blinding Ray has the like... It's not a downside anymore that you trash the security card when you have Magnum X. That is like, oh, now I'm immune.
Yeah. And, well, Jack Raid is the, like... It's the most volatile of the bunch because it does nothing first, then it becomes Hammer Spark, and then it becomes like absolutely ridiculous if we go far enough in the game,
Yeah.
all the purple has like gone through their cards really fast.
We've seen Jack Raid like being abused since its release, and it came out in BD4.
Yeah. So it's like gaining memory for nothing is a thing that I've been saying for the longest time should not be a thing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be getting memory out of your free Digivolves, for example, Garurumon X or we had some others that are like free, I think. But we have some of these like X antibody Digivolves that are 0 and they basically gain you a memory. That should not be a thing, in my opinion, because you shouldn't be paying nothing to gain like resources.
Yeah, but like it's more balanced with Digimons because you have to have the protoform or the X antibody or the set Digimon there to gain the effect. But like these 0 cost options.
Yeah, and maybe someone like people could say like, okay, well, Gravity Crush, Blinding Ray, and Jack Raid don't get played that much at the moment. Blinding Ray is playing like Magnamon decks mainly, I think.
2 or 3 of
Gravity Crush is sometimes in red hybrids.
Yeah.
And Jack Raid isn't. Oh no.
Jack Raid is 3 or 4 of.
Yeah, it's in
purple hybrid.
Yeah, it's back in purple hybrid, but before purple hybrid, it wasn't really a thing again.
Yeah.
But it's like. These are problematic designs again. Like, you should get rid of these and just show that this is not a thing.
Yeah, and do not print any more of these.
Yeah. No more zero cost events. Whoa, I have played too much Star Wars lately. 0 cost options to gain memory. And that is something we've been adamant about for the longest time, and we still think so. Feel free to disagree in the comments.
Yeah. Then to continue, let's continue with some blue cards. First card is Mirage Kagomon. We don't need to talk about it. We have a dedicated almost 30-minute video about that already.
You can watch the Mirage Kagomon video or the short that like brings it down to like 1 minute where you can see where you can hear like the main idea why Mirage should be banned / restricted.
Yeah, I'm fine with restricting it to 1, but honestly it should be banned.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 cards that both don't need to be banned or restricted, but one of them should be at least. Those are Davis Motomi and Ken Ichijoji from BT16 and Return to Prime Genitor BT17.
Yeah, so something from Imperial Dramon.
Yeah.
And
I don't think BT16 Imperial Baldramon should be restricted. It's a really, really good card, but like...
Yeah, but what makes it so good is basically... Well, the biggest thing is the double tamer, and that is like I think the biggest talking point is, can you restrict the double tamer without completely killing Imperial Dramon? Because if you can restrict the Davis Ken tamer and not like yeet Imperial Dramon out of the metagame, then it should be done. Yeah. Because the tamer is so unfun to play against. You can like mow down your opponent's whole field, and then they have like one double tamer, you hit another one from the security and you're like, oh no. You know that now they can go from nothing to whole combo and probably like gain memory during that whole ordeal and like print memory and make it everything, and then you're nothing up on suspense and but I think I'm at the same mind that Pile should not be like touched. It's a really good card, but it's also a card the deck needs to actually be competitive.
Yeah.
But I think Imperial Dramon is again one of those decks that have these like kind of unfun play patterns where they go from nothing to everything, and that is not something I enjoy.
And the Davis Ken is like the biggest like
and
thing to achieve that.
It's like when they become like multiples on the board, like one Davis Ken is like you can maybe live
it's manageable.
But when you have like 2 or 3, it becomes absolutely dumb at some point because they just bring out those searchers, search more pieces, play more pieces, and then like just go.
Yeah.
And when everything like you go from nothing to like 2 or 3 attacks, that's kind of like dumb.
Yeah. But if you don't want to limit, or if the Davis Ken limit would bring Imperial Dramon to like
nothing
playable, you should at least limit Return to Primogenitor, because you already have Partition.
You have jamming most of the time.
Yeah, and then you have this delay card that says, is it when it would leave?
Yeah, would be deleted other than by one of your effects.
Yeah.
So like, you can bounce the card still.
Yeah, that's fair, but like, still, you already have really solid stack that if it gets removed with effect, you get to play 2 level 4s from there. And then you have this option that says like, okay, now when they raid to it and you don't get to have your partition activate, you can digivolve this into Imperial Dramon in name.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's a level 7 for free.
Yeah, you can go to Paladin mode for free.
Yeah.
Or then like your Pile Dramon can go to Dragon mode or Fighter mode for free, and your Dragon modes can still like go to Fighter modes for free.
Yeah, and then the security effect to play Davis Ken.
Why does it play from trash? Can someone explain me why this green and blue? Let me repeat that. Green and blue.
Those are 2 colors that have nothing to do with trash normally. Yeah. And then we have this protagonist privilege here saying like, okay, you're purple now.
Yeah, like if your opponent like removes your double tamer from the field, deletes it, and then hits this from the security, you get that tamer back, and then this goes to the battle area. Why though?
Yeah, gladly Primogenitor does not have like anything that if you have a Davis or Ken in play, you can ignore this color requirements. If you have free trade, or like if you have green or blue, it's enough. But usually when you use Primogenitor, you have Paladin mode. Not Paladin, Pile Dramon on your field, because you are probably digivolving Pile Dramon into Dragon mode.
Yeah, and like Imperial Dramon has also been like juggernaut of a deck. Like there are of course decks that can like counter Imperial Dramon, of course, but like Imperial Dramon has such a solid and like consistent game plan as a whole, what they're doing, that I don't see the deck like falling off completely. Maybe like the biggest problem for the deck could be like Ace D Digivolves or something, because they cannot really remove your opponent's stuff before.
Source Trip is also solid against Imperial Dramon, because then they can partition.
Yeah.
But
maybe one of these cards should be gone, like the Primogenitor for the like scramble like effect and the protection afterwards that gives you somehow free evolves for some reason. Or then Davis Ken, if that doesn't like completely wreck the deck. maybe someone in the comments could say that what they think about this. Which one should be go, or like is Imperial Dramon already going out of the door with the new decks? I don't know.
Imperial Dramon probably will get support soon, so it doesn't matter if it gets a little beat up.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's continue to our one and only white card that should be restricted. To me, it's Ukkomon BT16. It's such strong value card. It makes hybrid decks so much better.
Yeah.
It makes Fenrir so much better.
And like, it also makes every aggro deck so much better.
Yeah.
Like, it keeps your aggro going because you get to hatch a new one and then you can search for more pieces to continue on. Still, I'm not like... This is like... You gave the list of cards that you think should be restricted as banned, and I was like, I don't really have any like new cards to add to the deck, to the list.
Yeah.
Ukkomon is maybe one of those that I'm not like completely sure about because I haven't felt it that much like being overpowered. But on the other hand, I haven't been playing against the hybrid decks that much.
Yeah, we do not have that many hybrid players.
Yeah,
but like
I do have the hybrid deck myself, but I haven't been playing it.
Yeah.
So maybe Ukkomon is like
same.
So maybe the Ukkomon is actually worse offender than I give it credit for, and I do understand that like the Ukkomons were like both of them that we have, and the other one is already restricted. Both of them are like because they work around the whole concept of how Digimon like proceeds, because it's like you get the extra hatch, so that should be like that has been like green thing for the longest time.
Now it's everywhere.
Now everyone can do it, and like there are these like aggro hybrids or aggro decks that can just use the fact to just keep on going, and your opponent might not be like fast enough to build their own game plan, and they have already like lost 2 to 3 securities out of nowhere or something like that, and then they just have to find like those couple of last attacks to win the game, and they're like small Digimons are usually like expendable, so they don't care about if they have to attack with them.
Yeah.
So I do see the like idea of getting rid of Ukkomon also, or like putting it at 1.
Yeah, it's not the highest like thing to limit in my opinion, or like the first thing to limit, but like it probably should be restricted to 1.
Yeah, and it has a like high chance of like breaking some not breaking decks, but really like pushing certain kind of decks at some point. So I guess it should be like at least look at it if it should go to 1.
Yeah.
Then we have 3 purple offenders here that are like from completely the last two are like they can be in the same deck, but they're also like kind of from all the different decks.
Yeah.
So first up we have the Bowmon
from BD14.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, the one that does not have once per turn restrictions
for some reason.
For some reason, yeah. I understand that your deck works with this egg specifically, but like you can work around it. You can have more stuff to like you can use similar effects to this, like is it BT9 Skull Ballochimon?
Yeah, and you can still have like, and it's such a problematic card because it's like you can go from, it's like level 3 you can evolve once and then you just chain evolves because of your trashing effects, and then you end this thing in Takemikazuchi that just resets everything.
Yeah.
And it's like okay.
And the worst thing sometimes is that you can have like a level 5 already on board, and then you slam Hellugarmon for 7 and then you trash the needed card there. Like you can trash Takemikazuchi and Fenrir at the same time with your Hellugarmon. You pass to 7 and then you digivolve with this go to 10 and then your combo is off. And suddenly you're back at 3 memory. Oh wait, I'm back at 2 memory. And then maybe 1 later. But like, it should be once per turn, and probably like when this Digimon trashes a card, this Digimon's effect trashes a card, you can Digivolt it, but like it's just your turn when a card is trashed. If it's set trades, you can Digivolt it.
Yeah, it's like again, like Takemitsu is not the best deck in the format, and it has never been the best deck in the format.
Yeah, but it's so high roll.
Yeah, and it's like you can technically lose to Takemitsu on like turn 2 or something.
Yeah, you can.
So it's like our turn 3 is like already like very doable for the Takemitsu without like opponent doing anything special. They can do it themselves, like with certain cards. And what I have always been like the most annoyed about in Takemitsu is the fact that it's so hard to counter without very specific things, and most of the decks don't have those things.
Yeah.
And it can go again from nothing to everything in like it just needs one
fell swoop.
It just needs one Logamon from the racing, and then it just evolves through the whole line.
Theoretically, you don't need to have anything else on the board to do the combo. Just the Logamon on back.
Yeah, because then you can just put the Tamer under there and go from there.
Yep.
Then you just evolve to things that discard trash things from the hand, and then you just evolve through your whole combo. And so it's really annoying, and it's like even if you remove all of your opponent's Digimons, they can just... And there are those certain like certain combinations where you can even like use the option to play something from trash.
Yeah.
Put the Tamer under that, and then with enough memory you can, and Skullpaluchimons, you can still do the combo from like literally nothing. And well, okay, you have to have one Tamer on the board. Like you need to have that option, delay option, and one Tamer on the board, and like Logamon in trash or something.
Yeah.
So, or whatever it is, but
yeah, the deck is unfair at times, but like Mon would be like probably the best restriction.
Yeah, it's
without killing the deck.
Yeah, because then you have to play differently, and you cannot just like lean on the fact that you can do your combo regardless of how much memory you have.
Yeah.
Like because you can go from like one memory, well technically 2 if you Logamon puts a Tamer under it, but like technically you can go from one memory to like through your whole combo, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's kind of wrong. And it's like these are those play patterns that should not be a thing where you are like hopelessly watching your opponent do things, and you can't really counterplay it efficiently like ever.
Yeah.
Except with maybe the next card that's in our list.
Yeah, the next card is Biting Crush, EX5 card.
Leviamon option.
Yeah. Play Leviamon when your opponent plays a Digimon with effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hella strong to get a free 13,000 DP
Digimon.
Security attack plus 1 Digimon that destroys probably 2 Digimons on your field and gains memory each one destroyed.
Yeah. And this is because like Leviamon has been the consistently best purple deck, I would guess, lately, especially in the West.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. And it has, because one of the reasons is the fact that you can, well, Leviamon itself is already a good Digimon, of course, but the fact that you can just play Biting Crush, even no matter how much it costs, you play Biting Crush, trash like Leviamon, delete their biggest thing, and then Biting Crush sits on the field, and you ask your opponent, do you want to play the game? Because it's like most of the decks these days do play with effects in some point of their like combos. Davis can place your level 3.
And Biting Crush combos with Leviamon X also. Yeah. Like your opponent, you have a Biting Crush on field, Leviamon and Leviamon X on trash. Your opponent plays Digimon with Davis Ken. You are like, okay, I play Leviamon. Leviamon destroys your stuff. Oh yeah, you did play with the effect. I play, I Digivolt this Leviamon to Leviamon X, and it destroys your Tamer.
Yeah, and maybe even these things wouldn't be like completely bad, like horrible to face against, but because they wanted to push Leviamon like the idea, they also printed cards that force your opponent to play Digimons by effect.
So Ortomon and the level
Dragomon.
5. Yeah, and then Barusiramon also.
Yeah, so even if those are not like multiples in the Leviamon decks, they usually play at least some of them, just so they can at some point of the game just say, you now play thing from your trash.
Yeah, and I get to do this big thing.
Yeah, and
for free.
then I do everything that I have set up during this game, and you lose like everything probably. So it's like Leviamon has become like purple staple almost. It's been played in many like Purple Hybrid doesn't play Leviamon, but like
yet,
yeah. But basically it doesn't play Leviamon. Yeah. But then like 7th grade Demon Lords of course play Leviamon, and the EX5 Leviamon is their like go-to Leviamon most of the time. So
Lusemon plays it. Lord Nightmon could play it.
Yeah, I had that like Lilithmon Leviamon deck.
Yeah.
And it's like you can basically fit Leviamon in almost any purple deck if you want to.
Just such a good card.
Yeah, even without Biting Crush. But Biting Crush is the one that like really locks down the game at some points, because it's like your opponent just watches the Biting Crush and be like, yeah, I cannot do my normal combos, or I have to play like really, really strangely to play around the Biting Crush. And then there's always the looming threat of your opponent just saying, now you play something for an effect and I get the Leviamon from the trash.
Yeah.
I'm fine with Leviamon as a like
Digimon.
Yeah, but if the Leviamon is like like a card that could come out from trash because I play something with an effect, it's like, I don't know.
Feels unfair.
Yeah, and there's always the fact that Leviamon X is also a thing, so you can, as you said, you can do those like strange combinations. And then Leviamon X even activates from Tamer effect plays.
Yeah,
so it activates from like security effect.
Yeah,
play a Tamer.
Swing with Leviamon, your opponent plays for free the Tamer that was checked because it's mandatory. And then you're like, oh, I can Digivolve in that. And then I delete that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe that's enough for Biting Crush, and let's move on to another EX5 purple card, and that will be Cerberusmon X Antibody. Not maybe the most like restrictable card, but Purple Good Stuff engine, the dog engine, is really solid, and like I really enjoy that. Finally, once again, we have solid Purple Good Stuff engine, but the level 5 is probably the one that I would restrict, the Cerberusmon X Antibody.
Yeah, Cerberus X does so much things.
Cycling and playing cards for free.
Yeah, and because well, we can like a little bit contrast this to the level 5 that I played in my purple deck, which is Lady Devimon X.
Yeah.
And Lady Devimon, but like Lady Devimon X doesn't draw cards itself.
Yeah.
And
it plays the body.
It plays the body. So does Cerberus X, but there's a difference because the Lady Devimon body it plays is just a token. This plays any level 3 purple Digimon. Well, at least a level 3. Is it purple? I don't remember. Yeah, purple level 3. And purple level 3s are a interesting bunch when you have like Guzimons and Psychmons, and you have easy way to replay floodgates, or like getting multiple floodgates on the board with like multiple effects that play stuff on the field, because you can go to Lord Nightmon on top of this and play more floodgates, for example.
Or then you can go to this with Protoform, of course with Protoform, because this is X Antibody Digimon. You can play Labramon from EX5 also, and take Anubismon from your trash. That was somehow ended up there.
Yeah, for example. But it's like it becomes super toolboxy with your level 3s.
Yes.
And I think those level 3s are already like and of course it probably gains you memory with some effects that like even when you trash or when you play, because it's purple. So
yeah.
So it's like there's so much it does the two things that purple at the moment wants. It draws cards, trashes cards, and then it plays a Digimon from the trash.
Yeah.
So you have those two things that give you memory in purple if you breathe, basically. And then it also, and it's like in the same card. It shouldn't be, those two things shouldn't be in the same card in current purple, because even if it's like you need X antibody or Cerberusmon under it, well, Protoform is at 4 in all of these decks, and you're like probably going to this for 2 with the Protoform, or you have already gone to Doberman X for 1.
Or Doberman X.
Doberman X for 1.
Yeah, and then you could use Scramble and go to the Cerberusmon and then go to this for free. And like then you get Rush also with the Digimon. And then there is also the fact that the Inherit is really strong. Like, okay, you need to delete your Digimon to unsuspend it, but okay, I can play it back with some other effects.
Yeah.
And if you have Leviamon on top of this, you swing for 4 checks. If you have Leviamon X, it's 6 checks.
Yeah, and this fuels its own like Inherit effect. Because it plays a Digimon, then you can go to a level 6. And if you have memory, you can attack, unsuspend, attack. So it's, of course, it's like Leviamon and Lord Nightmon are like the most, where this is most used at the moment. But it's like, you could think this in like any purple deck if you like want it. Like, I was even like tinkering with the idea of like with the new Ghost cards, could you actually play like Cerberus X, Dober X, engine or something? That was like one of the things I was thinking about.
Purple Good Stuff engine is just so good.
Yeah, and is that even like more powerful than like the normal Ghost stuff? Or then you just play like minimal Ghost stuff that you can play your Ghost things from the trash with the Necromon or something.
Yeah.
But it's, I understand why the purple Good Stuff engine seems like something that it just needs to like find maybe that one last piece to be like absolutely broken or something.
Yeah.
And
it already sometimes feels like
sometimes it just like is broken, but it has its own like limitations because it's easily hampered by memory blockers, because Deltamon worked around that a little bit, that Deltamon came out, but it's still like memory blockers can sometimes be a little bit problematic for the purple decks, because you are so much relying on the fact that you can get print-free memory from your Inherits.
Yeah, but as you said, Deltamon from BT19, BT19 is just an answer to that. Yeah. And then, should we move on?
Yeah.
We have some new cards also, as you already said, and like, I have played against Tamon Loop few games and it felt horrible. I don't know, has anyone ever enjoyed playing against Tamon Loop? Should the deck exist that plays from 3 to 4 ruin modes? You could also just, if you want to have this deck as like exist, I don't know why you would, but like you could also restrict ruin mode to 1. It should be a one-off. It shouldn't. I don't think there should be a decks that abuse more ruin modes. But like normally you don't need to restrict it because nobody plays more than 1 ruin mode.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, but that's a rare case. And like Tamon Ace allows you to spam your board with level 6s. And that's kind of strong. And then you end up the turn by going to
ruin mode, or something. Or you can technically, with right cards, you could play, or right amounts of memory and right cards, you could technically go to like multiple ruin modes or something. But I haven't played against the deck yet. I just saw you play against it when our friend was like proxying it and playing it.
Thank you, Jarno.
And it's one of those decks that like it's probably super fun for the one who is playing the deck. It's super fun to just like draw a billion cards, evolve for free, play the Taumon, do the stuff, and like do it again and again.
It needs a solid pilot.
Yeah, but it's like one of like those decks that just like sucks all the fun and time of the game. Like,
the turns last so long.
it's like maybe they use like a couple of turns to just draw cards or play tamers, and then when they do their like combo turn, it can take like minutes and like maybe some 10 minutes if at the worst or something like that. And then you're just there like twiddling your thumbs and being like, okay, I'm just watching here. Let's see what happens. And then it's like you kind of need to have answer immediately after that to everything they did or they win the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are we again doing... Like, I'm pretty sure Bandai didn't realize that
Taumon was this strong of a card.
Yeah, and they didn't realize that this would like create these loop decks that just go for like, I have now 3 to 5 level 6 Digimons, at least 1 Ruin mode, and this Taumon here. Or Taumon under one of your level 6, but like...
Yeah, that's just like...
And it did look like a deck that is like super unfun to play against.
Yeah, and it felt like that.
Yeah, and it's probably again one of those decks that is really hard for like most of the decks to counter efficiently. And it's like, if you face off the loop, you're probably going to lose if they don't brick, or you cannot like aggro them down in like a couple of turns.
You need to have like 4 of Crimson Blazes to play endure every turn by playing Crimson Blaze, and then they are like, okay, now I can't do it.
Yeah, and the problem with Crimson Blaze is that it doesn't really kill anything. So if they have already like looped, the Crimson Blaze doesn't do that much. It might kill the tokens from like Sakuyamon or something like that.
And even like Detaxmon does nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe DDG was the Ruin mode, but like that's all. It does not kill Taumons. It does not do anything when it comes out.
And we have so little board wipes in Digimon as a whole that it's really hard for those kinds of like... I think like I saw that one game where like Purple Hybrid was able to like dissect the board multiple times.
That's possible.
But Velgaramon is like super good against that. So it's like, yeah, of course. Like you can maybe attack twice with Velgaramon and like destroy their like lowest level Digimons every time, or even like once if the Taumon is under like one of the level 6s, you can just go, okay, attack, end of attack, delete, all of your level 6 go boom, I gain memory, I can do it again, and maybe even pop your Ruin mode or something.
Yeah, you would need like Imperial or Baldramon to come out and suspend everything and then use Megadet.
I guess Imperial Dramon could be fine against that deck, because you can just like...
If they don't find Ruin mode.
Yeah.
But when they go to Ruin mode, you're like...
Yeah, it's like one of those where Imperial Dramon could be good against them, but if they go to Ruin mode, you lose the game.
Yeah.
So it's like well, it's not even coin toss, because the deck draws so much that they can probably find the Ruin mode and go to it.
Yeah.
So, like, Imperial Dramon would have the answer, but it cannot use the answer.
Yeah.
And, well, only thing that is like moderately balanced with the deck is the fact that it doesn't win on the turn it does the thing.
Yeah, so but it counters your opponent to do anything counteractive.
It technically gives your opponent a turn to do things, but the problem is that we don't have many answers to actually deal with the combo. So maybe we should just like kick that deck out of the metagame for good and be fine with it. Like, I'm super happy that Kusuhamon sees play, but I didn't want it to see play like this.
Then we have another loop deck that should not exist, or a card that allows there to be infinite loops, and we are talking about Sayanko from EX5. Is it EX5?
EX5.
EX5. Once again, EX5 card. Bad set.
Good or bad? Yeah.
Yeah. So Sayanko, the blue one, is the start of your opponent's turn.
Play a Digimon from
Yeah. we already have pair bans with this card because they allow you to infinitely loop start of your opponent's turn. We have an infinite loop that's not banned with the Mirage Gagamon and this card. And like, the infinite Homer Mirage loop has not seen that much success. But just wait. When we get another card to Galaxy Engine to skip turns easily, then we play this at 4 and we are like, okay. And then they are like, should we pair ban this?
Yeah.
No, this is probably a card that should be totally just removed from the game and then print a new one with the new text.
Yeah. I don't understand why this is start of your opponent's turn.
It should be end of your turn.
Yeah. I haven't like looked through the like Galaxy cards. Are there any like important like facts why it should be like start of your opponent's turn?
I don't know.
But like because we have so little effects that activate at the start of your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
That it's almost like it works in so different angle than anything else in Digimon most of the time, because like start of your opponent's turn effects are like reboot, kind of like reboot is not like start of opponent's turn, but it's like kind of there with like reboot, and then we have some like super niche like maybe, well I'm not even sure do we have any like that niche effects. It's like there are things that like react to unsuspending and stuff
like Black War Greymon.
Yeah, but there's not like that much effects that are actually activated at the start of opponent's turn. So it's such a strange design, and because
we have Slayer Dragon from EX3. It's start of your opponent's main phase.
Yeah.
Opponent's turn is weird.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It might not be broken at the moment, but it's like
it's a design mistake. It's a huge design mistake.
It's one of those cards that just like waits there menacingly, and you're just waiting in fear. What is the next card in a Galaxy that just breaks this?
Yeah. But I have nothing else to say about that card.
It's one of those cards that should not be. It was designed wrong, and they just didn't realize that start of your opponent's turn effects are just like dumb and broken.
Then the last card in our list is EX4 Heaven Judgment. It's not like too problematic right now. It is really strong paired with Magnamon X or any 3-colored card.
Yeah.
It's especially strong with Magnamon X deck because you can have Detexmon on your field simultaneously, and then the Vmon and maybe Ukkomon or something, then you have 6 colors. And
you have so many colors.
Yeah, but like just wait the day that we have 4-colored or 5-colored cards, and then Heaven Judgment is like, this is a $20 common card because it's so broken if it's not banned yet then.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe I have a little bit softened on my take on like Heaven's Judgment because the card is not problematic at the moment.
Yeah, but it could be problematic at any moment when we get a new tri-colored or even more colored cards.
Yeah.
So.
And I do like still think that they didn't design Heaven's Judgment with the idea that there will be 3-color Digimon. Like
they probably didn't, because this is with Heaven's Judgment was designed with the old design team.
Yeah. And because 3 colors makes Heaven's Judgment like the most efficient removal in the game, basically.
Yeah.
Or along those lines. So this is one of those cards that I'm like, maybe it could not be like restricted as much as I have lost to the card in the past, but like at this point in time I don't think it's problematic, and I could maybe live with it just like unrestricted, but I also understand the idea of it being restricted.
It's future proofing.
Kinda, yeah. And indeed, as you said, like, and maybe even if you get like tricolored like under level 6 Digimons for some reason, then it becomes like more dumb again.
Yeah, Tricolor level 5s or level 4s would be like...
Or what you were like...
Dracomon X should be
give me Dracomon X that is like Tricolor, and I was like, no. Heaven's Judgment becomes immediately the best removal in the game. Like, you can have this level 3, then you pay 7 and kill everything.
That would be so dumb. Yeah, but that's why Heaven's Judgment should be at 1 or at 0 if we ever get like 4 colored cards or even more.
Yeah, waiting for the day that we have a Digimon with all the colors or something.
It will be Omnimon Merciful mode, having all the colors probably.
Yeah,
that's my guess. So bet on that. But I think these are the cards that should be limited or banned.
Did we miss anything? Do you think there are cards that should be limited or banned that we didn't talk about? What do you think about our picks? Are we completely nuts and idiots?
Yes.
And I'm not saying that we should like just move all of these cards at the same time to the limited list, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not.
But these are some like options that could be like some cards that could be limited to make the game more healthy, or trying to make it healthy in a way that it would remove some like really unfun play patterns. And that is something that I have become like more wanting as the more I play like card games. It's not even like completely on like power level. Of course, if we have like one deck that is like over the moon good, then it should be restricted. But sometimes you should just restrict things because they feel bad. Yeah. Like they are just feel bad. Why should I be feeling bad most of the time when I play a tournament or something like that?
That's a good point.
I just want to like have these like push and pull matches, and not just like your opponent coming out of raising and be like, okay, now I win the game. Because
having fun is important in this game.
I understand that there's always
of
course there are always games that are not fun. That is a given. But if deck's whole point is being unfun, then it's not like then we should probably get rid of it. And Bandai should watch what they actually print.
But yeah, this was the video this time. What do you think about this? Tell us in the comment, like the video or dislike it if you strongly disagree with us. Consider becoming a channel member, check out Card Trader, and we will see you at the next video. Bye!
I die if I don't get drinks.